The savanna stretches endlessly, the sun low in the sky, casting long shadows on the dusty ground. A young gazelle, no more than a year old, races across the plain. Its heart pounds as it leaps, trying to escape the predator behind. The cheetah, sleek and powerful, closes in. The gazelle's speed is its only hope, but the predator's relentless pursuit is unforgiving. The chase is close, the gap narrowing with every second. The gazelle feels the heat of the cheetah's breath. It leaps again, desperation in its eyes. The predator is too fast, too close. But for now, the gazelle fights, hoping against all odds. The wind howls across the savanna, scattering dust in all directions. The gazelle, its heart pounding in its chest, can feel the predator drawing closer. Its muscles burn from the effort, but there's no time to slow. The cheetah's speed is relentless, and it's not just chasing anymore, it's closing in for the kill. The gazelle's instincts scream at it to run faster, but the pain of its exhausted limbs is becoming overwhelming. It knows it can't keep this up forever, but it pushes on, its mind focused solely on survival. As the ground beneath its hooves begins to shift, the gazelle leaps again, this time with all the strength it has left. But the cheetah's breathing grows heavier, and the distance between them shortens. The savanna offers no refuge, only the endless chase. The cheetah's muscles ripple as it gains on its prey, and the sound of its paws pounding against the earth grows louder in the air. The gazelle's fear is palpable, but it refuses to give up. It darts to the side, hoping to throw off the predator, but the cheetah matches every move with lethal precision. The gap narrows, the predator's breath like fire against the young gazelle's back. It's only a matter of seconds now. The gazelle's heart races in a frantic rhythm, its survival instincts battling with the overwhelming fatigue in its legs. Its last hope lies in one final burst of speed, but the predator is too close, too fast. The gazelle's legs tremble, the weight of exhaustion pulling at it. It hears the cheetah's breath, closer now than ever, but it pushes forward, its instincts refusing to let it stop. Another leap, higher, more desperate. But it's no use. The predator is faster, its body built for this very moment. The savanna feels like an endless stretch of emptiness with nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The gap between them closes further, and the young gazelle can feel the sting of defeat hanging in the air. But it fights. It always fights. The savanna may be vast, but it is unforgiving, and there is no mercy in the chase. The chase has become a dance of desperation. The gazelle's heart is nearly bursting from its chest, its legs on fire with each strained step. The cheetah, relentless, remains just behind, a blur of speed and instinct. The gazelle's vision blurs, but it sees only one thing, the predator. And then, in a final burst, the gazelle leaps once more, hoping for an escape that may never come. The cheetah follows in the same instant, its body rocketing toward its prey. The savanna holds its breath, and for a moment, time seems to freeze. The hunt is about to reach its end. The young gazelle stumbles as it races back to its herd, its legs trembling from exhaustion. The chase has taken its toll, but the urgency in its heart fuels each painful step. Its family is ahead waiting, but the horizon feels endless. The savanna, vast and merciless, seems to stretch far beyond what the eye can see. The young gazelle pushes itself harder, but fatigue is setting in. It knows the cheetah is no longer a distant threat, but a presence, still lurking in the shadows. The wind howls as it rushes past, adding to the weight of its fear. The gazelle's every move is a gamble, each step a risk. It is only a matter of time before the predator strikes again. The thought of being lost alone in the wild fills it with dread. The herd is visible now, a faint silhouette on the horizon, but the gazelle knows it must reach them before the predator catches up. She pushes through the pain, her every muscle screaming in protest. The rest of the herd seems unaware, grazing peacefully in the distance. The young gazelle's heart races not only from the chase, but from the fear that her family might not be ready for the danger that's so close. The cheetah, relentless and patient, stalks in the background, watching, waiting for any sign of weakness. The gazelle's speed is her strength, but even she can feel it diminishing with each passing second. Her hope lies in reaching her family, but the gap feels impossibly wide. As the gazelle nears her family, she feels a flicker of hope, but it is short-lived. A sound from behind, faint but unmistakable, makes her heart skip. The predator is closing in. She urges herself faster, but the weight of her body is pulling her down. The rest of the herd starts to notice, their movements sluggish, but gradually shifting toward her direction. The young gazelle's panic grows. Her legs feel like lead, each step slower than the last. She knows that if the predator catches sight of her now, there's no escaping. Her only hope lies in her ability to reach the herd and join their safety. The wind picks up, howling fiercely across the plains, as if urging her on. The young gazelle finally reaches the herd, but the tension in the air is palpable. The other gazelles stop grazing, sensing the danger in her frantic movements. The predator is close, too close, and the gazelle can feel the weight of her fear growing. The herd is now in motion, their legs working in unison, but it's not enough to outrun the cheetah. The young gazelle feels her heart pounding in her chest, and yet she feels the comforting presence of her family around her. But survival is not guaranteed. She watches frozen in fear as the herd begins to scatter in different directions. Each member of the herd is desperate to stay ahead, but the predator is too fast. The gazelle knows that in the wild even family is not always enough. The young gazelle is forced to sprint once more, her legs burning and her body screaming for rest. The cheetah's breath is heavy behind her, a constant reminder of the predator's hunger. The landscape around her seems to blur as she pushes forward, her mind focused only on survival. The savanna is unforgiving, and the herd is lost in the distance. Her only hope now is that the predator might tire, but she knows it's unlikely. She feels a pang of sorrow for her family, scattered and vulnerable, but she cannot stop. Her every instinct tells her to keep running, to push through the pain. But even as she moves, the predator is still there, watching, hunting. It's not just a chase anymore. It's a battle for life. The gazelle's legs are weary, but there's no time to rest. The cheetah is gaining, each stride relentless and powerful. The savanna, vast and empty, offers no shelter, no place to hide. The wind howls through the dry grass, carrying the faint scent of the predator. The gazelle's heart races, faster than it ever has before. But the predator is a constant presence just behind it. It feels like there's no escape, no hope left. Yet the gazelle's instincts push it forward. The earth beneath its hooves is hard and unforgiving, but there's no time to slow. It's as if the entire landscape is conspiring against its survival. The chase has become a test of endurance, and the gazelle knows it can't keep this up for much longer. But still, it runs. The gazelle's breath comes in short, ragged bursts. It can feel its strength draining away, but it refuses to stop. The cheetah, its breathing slow but steady, shows no sign of tiring. The savanna feels endless, each step an eternity, and the heat is suffocating. The gazelle is desperate now, trying to find some way to outmaneuver the predator. A sudden shift in direction, a leap to the left. But the cheetah is too quick, adjusting its course with deadly accuracy. There's no escape. The gazelle's mind races, but its body begins to falter. Every instinct screams at it to keep running, but the weight of its exhaustion is nearly unbearable. It's only a matter of time now before the cheetah strikes. The gazelle's strength is faltering, and the cheetah is closing the distance. The gazelle's legs feel heavy, the ground beneath it growing more difficult to navigate with each step. A sudden gust of wind blows across the plain, stirring the dry grass and creating an unsettling atmosphere. The predator's eyes never leave its prey, its movements smooth and calculated. The gazelle is gasping for air, the sound of its breath drowning out the wind. It tries to push faster, but its body betrays it. The predator is no longer just a shadow. It is real, its presence overwhelming, its approach inevitable. The gazelle knows this is the moment it has feared, the moment when the predator's strike will come. A flash of movement. The gazelle stumbles, its legs giving way beneath it. It struggles to regain its footing, but the cheetah is already upon it. The predator's speed is unmatched, its breath hot against the gazelle's neck. The savanna, once vast and open, now feels like a trap closing in. The gazelle's mind races as it pushes through its weakness, but its body can't keep up. The predator's claws brush the gazelle's hind legs, a warning, but not yet the final blow. The gazelle feels a surge of panic, its survival instincts battling the reality of its own exhaustion. It is no longer a matter of outpacing the predator, it is a matter of survival by any means necessary. The gazelle, now completely exhausted, feels its limbs give out beneath it. It collapses to the ground, heart pounding in its chest. The cheetah poised above it watches with cold, calculating eyes. There is no more running, no more hope of escape. The gazelle's world narrows to the presence of the predator above it. Its body trembles, but it has no more strength to fight. The savanna, indifferent as ever, stretches out before them both. The final moment has arrived. The gazelle's breath slows, but it refuses to give in. Even in the face of death, it holds on to a shred of hope, a hope that perhaps somehow it can escape this fate. Just as the gazelle braces for the inevitable, something unexpected happens. The cheetah hesitates, its sharp gaze shifting momentarily. There's a strange flicker in its eyes, as if it's remembering something deep within. The predator's poised body tenses, and for the briefest moment, the chase seems to pause. The gazelle, heart pounding, watches in confusion. The cheetah, once relentless, now seems to hold back. It's not fear. No, the predator never fears. But something about the situation has shifted. Something has changed. The gazelle, still trembling, seizes the chance to move, to rise. But the cheetah remains still, its eyes locked onto the young prey, filled with more than just hunger. There's a sense of something deeper, something primal. The tension is unbearable, as both predator and prey remain frozen in this strange moment. The cheetah, after what feels like an eternity, begins to lower its body, shifting its weight. The predator's sharp eyes narrow, not in aggression but in something else. It is as if the chase has no clear winner, as if there is no winner at all. The gazelle is frozen, unsure whether to flee or stay. The predator's gaze softens, momentarily replaced by a faint flicker of understanding. It is a strange fleeting moment, one that feels like an unspoken truce between two creatures bound by survival. The cheetah steps back, its form almost unrecognizable, a contrast to the relentless hunter from moments before. The gazelle, still cautious, rises slowly, feeling both fear and something else, perhaps an opportunity. But the cheetah does not move, standing still as if waiting for something. The young gazelle watches with a sense of disbelief, knowing the danger is not over but unsure of what is to come. The silence is broken by a sudden noise, the faint rustling of grass. A breeze sweeps across the savanna, stirring the dry earth. The cheetah's ears twitch, and its eyes flash once again with that same primal hunger. But this time, there is something different. A sudden realization. The predator's stance shifts slightly, its body still, calculating. It looks not at the gazelle, but at something beyond it. The gazelle, still unsure of what is happening, remains motionless, eyes wide with both fear and curiosity. The cheetah's focus remains unbroken, not on the gazelle anymore but on a new presence that has entered the scene. The young gazelle, sensing the shift in the air, slowly turns its head. The predator is distracted, a momentary lapse. Is this the chance the gazelle needs to escape? In the distance, something stirs. The faintest rustle of grass. Another predator? Another threat? The cheetah seems to sense it too, its muscles tensing once again, but not with the same predatory urgency. Instead, there's hesitation. The gazelle's survival instinct kicks in, and it starts to inch backward, carefully, quietly. But the cheetah is not focused on it anymore. It's as if a different force has taken over the scene. The gazelle takes advantage of the moment, slowly rising to its feet, moving as silently as it can. The predator's focus shifts back and forth between the distant rustling and the gazelle, as if unsure which to chase. The gazelle feels a sense of uncertainty and relief. It isn't safe yet, not by a long shot, but for the first time it feels like there is a chance to escape. The gazelle, sensing its moment, begins to move faster, its legs carrying it away from the predator's confused gaze. It does not look back, its focus entirely on the path ahead. The cheetah watches for a few moments, still unsure whether to follow or stay. But as the gazelle distances itself, the predator makes a choice. It doesn't pursue. Instead, it turns away, disappearing into the tall grass. The young gazelle, breathless and shaken, stops only when it reaches a safer distance, its body trembling from the near escape. The savanna, ever-changing and indifferent, seems to hold its breath for a moment before returning to its usual stillness. The chase is over, but the memory of it lingers in the gazelle's mind, a reminder of survival in the harshest of environments. The young gazelle, still recovering from the chase, moves cautiously through the savanna, its body weary but its survival instincts sharper than ever. The cheetah's presence is no longer a threat, at least not in the immediate sense. But the savanna, once a place of fleeting safety, feels like a vast empty desert. The gazelle's heart beats slowly, the adrenaline wearing off, replaced by the weight of exhaustion. The herd is far behind, scattered, and alone once again. The landscape stretches out, barren and unyielding. The wind carries the faint scent of danger, but there is no immediate predator. Instead, the vast emptiness of the land feels more suffocating than any hunt. Survival is not just about outrunning a predator. It's about enduring the harshness of an unforgiving world. The gazelle knows that this fragile peace may not last, but for now, it must keep moving. A distant sound breaks the silence. The rustle of leaves, a bird calling in the distance. The gazelle's head snaps up, its ears twitching as it scans the environment. The savanna, always quiet, now feels more alive, as though it's watching, waiting. The young gazelle's heart pounds again, but this time it's not from exhaustion, it's from the acute awareness of the danger that could be anywhere. The predator could return, or perhaps another animal, one that hunts in a different way. The gazelle's instincts tell it to stay still, to listen. Every rustle, every movement could signal a new threat. The air is thick with tension, as if the land itself is holding its breath. The young gazelle, vulnerable and exhausted, takes a cautious step forward, unsure of what lies ahead, but knowing it must keep moving. The gazelle continues its cautious journey through the savanna, its body moving slower now, worn from the endless running. But in the distance, it sees a flicker of movement. Its heart leaps in its chest. Another predator? No, it's not the cheetah. It's another creature, one that seems to move with the same quiet grace, but this one is not a threat. The gazelle pauses, watching carefully. It's a lone figure walking calmly through the grass, its posture peaceful. The gazelle is unsure whether to approach or keep its distance, but for the first time in what feels like forever, it sees another living being that does not represent danger. There is no immediate threat, only a moment of quiet uncertainty, as the gazelle watches the other creature move through the savanna. The fear still lingers, but there is a flicker of hope in this strange encounter. The young gazelle watches the antelope for a few more moments before turning away, deciding to continue its journey. The savanna is vast, and while this brief encounter offered no danger, it also provided no answers. The land remains indifferent to the gazelle's struggles, just as it has always been. The gazelle knows its survival depends on movement, on never staying still for too long. The horizon seems to stretch endlessly before it, offering no respite, no shelter. But there is a quiet strength in its legs, even as they ache. It presses forward, moving steadily, knowing that the savanna is a place of both danger and survival. It has learned to navigate both. The young gazelle's heart slows, its focus now on the path ahead. The world remains vast and unforgiving, but there is a will to endure. The young gazelle pauses for a moment, its breath slow and steady. The savanna seems endless, but the gazelle feels a strange sense of peace, knowing that it is still alive. The predator is far behind, the chase now a distant memory. For the first time in what feels like forever, the gazelle takes a deep breath and relaxes. The land around it is still and quiet, and though danger is always looming in the distance, it has earned this moment of respite. The gazelle looks out over the horizon, the soft hues of twilight mixing with the faint outlines of the distant hills. It knows it must keep moving, but for now, it can rest in the stillness, knowing that survival is not just about running, it's about enduring, about adapting to the harshness of the world around it. The young gazelle slows its pace, feeling the weight of the past chase lifting from its shoulders. The savanna seems to stretch endlessly, but now there's a subtle shift, a quiet that wasn't there before. The predator is no longer in pursuit. The wind has changed, and the heat of the day is beginning to fade. The gazelle's body is still trembling, but it presses forward, determined to find refuge in the only place it can, the safety of the herd. The horizon is vast, the landscape stretching into infinity, but the gazelle is no longer alone. It's surrounded by the constant hum of the land, a reminder that survival continues not just for one, but for the many. In this moment, the gazelle feels the strength of its kin calling it forward, urging it to find peace after the storm. The herd remains unaware, its members scattered in peaceful grazing. The young gazelle's heart beats faster as it approaches, a sense of longing overwhelming it. After the chase, after the isolation, being among its own feels like a distant dream. But as the gazelle steps closer, it hesitates, unsure whether to join the group or remain distant. Its body, still drained from the ordeal, feels vulnerable in the open. The other gazelles continue to graze, oblivious to the danger that once loomed so close. The young gazelle feels torn between the fear of being left behind and the pull of belonging. It is not just the need for survival that brings it here. It is the need to find solidarity, to heal in the presence of its own kind. The young gazelle finally steps forward, taking slow, cautious steps toward the herd. Its legs still feel weak, but it pushes through. The closer it gets, the more it feels the weight of the journey lifting. The herd's soft movements, the gentle rustling of leaves, the occasional snort of a fellow gazelle, create a comforting atmosphere. As the young gazelle steps into the group, it feels an overwhelming sense of relief. Its fears begin to melt away as the presence of its kin surrounds it. The chase is over, the predator far behind. Now it must focus on rebuilding itself, finding the strength to continue, knowing that survival is not just about escaping danger, but about finding connection in a world that often isolates. It stands among its own, a reminder that even in the harshest of lands, there is safety in numbers. The young gazelle stands among the herd, its senses alert but its body finally at rest. The predator's presence is a distant memory, but the scars of the chase linger in the young gazelle's mind. It knows that the savanna is always changing, and that no peace is ever permanent. Yet, in this moment, there is comfort in the herd's unity, a silent promise that together, they can face whatever comes next. The gazelle's heart beats in rhythm with the others, its fears momentarily eased by the connection to the group. The savanna stretches out endlessly before them, but the herd moves as one, strong, united, and ready to endure whatever the land will throw at them. As the night begins to fall, the young gazelle rests its head on the dry ground, surrounded by its kin. The herd continues to graze and move slowly, settling into the quiet of the evening. The chase is now a distant memory, though its lessons remain. The savanna, while harsh and unforgiving, has also offered moments of peace. The young gazelle knows the danger is always out there, lurking, but for now, it can rest. Survival is not just about fleeing from the predator, it's about finding moments of peace, of belonging. The night settles in, and with it, the quiet resilience of the herd. In the stillness of the savanna, the young gazelle finds rest, and with it, a new sense of hope. The young gazelle stands at the edge of the savanna, its body weary but resilient. The land is quiet, the fading daylight casting long shadows over the dry earth. The predator is gone, but the hunt never truly ends. The gazelle knows this place, its rhythm. The savanna offers no guarantees, only survival. But in this moment, there is peace. A fleeting peace. The breeze shifts, carrying the scent of distant animals. The gazelle's senses heighten once more. Predator is gone for now, but the land holds its own dangers. Every step forward is both a victory and a risk. The gazelle knows the cycle will repeat. It's the law of the savanna. Endure, adapt, survive. The horizon seems endless, stretching toward the unknown. The gazelle's legs ache, but it moves with purpose, its eyes fixed on the path ahead. It feels the weight of survival in every step, but it also feels a sense of strength. It knows it must keep going. The savanna never offers comfort, but it demands resilience. The savanna is silent for a moment, but the wind picks up, carrying the sounds of distant creatures. The gazelle pauses, ears twitching, sensing something. The predator could return, but for now, the air is still. The young gazelle stands, momentarily frozen in place, feeling the weight of the land. As the gazelle moves forward once more, the horizon stretches out, a reminder of the endless struggle. The predator is far behind, but the hunt never truly ends. The land is always watching, waiting. The gazelle knows it will keep running, keep surviving. The savanna is both harsh and beautiful, a place of endless challenge and fragile triumph. The journey continues.